Hi there, welcome back to Leeds Lobby. It's good to have you back on the channel watching the content. We just obviously watched the Brisbane game.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit about what we found out strategically, what we found out about some of the younger players, and about how Leeds are going to line up next season. But before we get into that, please go over and just click the subscribe button at the bottom. Like the video. Let's get as many likes as we possibly can, and we'll get straight into it. So, what were your original impressions of the game then, Dan?
Well, we won 2-1, obviously. So it's now 3 wins on the trot for us, with Brentford on the last day of the season, Blackpool and Brisbane. So that's 3 wins on the draw. Hopefully, we keep this momentum for the start of the season. I think that some of the new signings, all of the new signings, look really good. Christensen looked absolutely brilliant in the first half, and I think JB looked really good as well.
And I think what's really, I mean, from my point of view, I mean, we've done a few tactical videos. You want to have a look at the tactical videos about the double pivot and about how the use of inverted wingers and how that actually looks and what that actually means. Go back and have a look at some of those, because we did some tactical stuff where we put it on a board and explained how that works. But some of the predictions that we've been making, which is that we would see Harrison featuring a left wing back this season, it's been absolutely wonderful to see that our predictions of having Koch and Strauch in the centre of defence, mainly because Koch is adept at right back and Strauch has also played left back, with that double pivot when the wing backs are absolutely flying down the wing and being adventurous and getting right the way up the pitch. When we're in a situation where we make a defensive transition, it's important that the centre backs are able to just ease out that attack. So that would mean Strauch coming over to the left, Koch going over to the right, and the double pivot works where Tyler Adams drops back, and it's amazing. It's almost like scripted. It's exactly what's happened, and we've seen that Strauch and Koch appear to be Jesse Marsch's preferred back two.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we were expecting to see. What did you think of Tyler Adams? This is the first time we've seen Tyler Adams.
Adams looked good. He made some really good tackles and was distributing quite well. I think he looked class.
I think one thing that's really excited me about this group of players and watching this game today has been some of the young players that are coming through. Archie Gray, again, he seems to be very much in and around the first team, which means he's very likely to get quite a lot of minutes this next coming season. Sinestera looked competent on that left-hand side. He seemed to link up with Harrison tremendously well, which is really, really exciting. Leif Davis, every time I saw him, it was the furthest forward of all the team, which means he's swashbuckling. He's definitely a left wing back rather than a left back.
Yeah, definitely.
What did you make of Giabi?
JB, I think his name is, but
okay, what makes you say that?
You know, he's in an interview. He was talking about his name. He wasn't talking about his name, but he did an interview when he signed and he said, "My name's Darko JB." So
I think we'll call him JB from now on then. But I was really
he looked
impressed
very good. He looked really competent. He reminded me slightly of a Yuri Tielemans type player, and I don't know if that was just me. Just off of the 30 minutes that I saw of him, he reminded me of Yuri Tielemans.
Where do you think Jesse Marsch is going to? Where do you think he's actually going to utilise him?
I think defensive midfielder. I think with 5 subs, we're going to need some rotation players, and I think JB's one of them.
So there's 2 things I've seen in around comments on our videos this last 2 or 3 weeks, and one of them is a comment that somebody made that we'd put a video out saying that we've actually got some strength in depth in midfield now for a change. And I mean, sarcastically, somebody said that we're not exactly stocked with defensive midfielders, but it seems that we've now got Bate who can play in that position. We've obviously got Adams who can play there. We've got Rocker in that midfield. We've got Diaby in midfield. We've got Gray in midfield. We have an abundance and almost an embarrassment of riches in that position now, and options, which is going to be really interesting. And we're probably likely to start with Adams and Roker at the start of the season, but for me, Diaby could be somebody who's breakthrough this year.
Definitely.
For 5 or 7 million at 18 years old, crikey Moses, he's looking like somebody that we will get. We've got a right player on our hands there, and that's really exciting.
Definitely.
Also, it was nice to see Somerville playing. What do you think about Somerville's performance today?
He drew a few fouls. He was dribbling around the box, and he was passing it around quite well. I think he played well.
Yeah, it was very much. I mean, a couple of times he went in like a ton of bricks. He went in with crunching tackles, which for such a slight player, it's nice to see him getting stuck in. but also he was drawing fouls in and around the box, which is interesting, especially as we now seem to have a bit more of an aerial threat. Personally, I think Cock played very, very well. I also like to see Strout playing very, very well. But again, when we talk about this whole press and how the press has changed from Bielsa to Jesse Marsch, what change do you see there?
Well, definitely, I don't really think we played narrow. It looked like we were more expansive than what people have been making us out to be. But I think we weren't man marking. We were zonal around the ball. We always had 3 or 4 players in and around the ball and pressing the players around it. But we were never sticking with one man and following them around for like minutes on end.
We always seemed as well that when we won the ball back in that final third, it seemed that the attacking player who received the ball had 2 or 3 options as to where he can play the ball, and I think the way that we pressed the play meant that when we won the ball back, because we'd pressed the play in numbers, we have 2 or 3 options as to where we can play the ball to, which I think is interesting. That's something I don't think I've seen with Bielsa with his expansive play.
Yeah.
But what I found last season is one of the reasons that Harrison, I think, suffered and didn't have such a good season as the season before. The season before, he had Alioski behind him, somebody energetic, somebody who would cross over, and that left wing was a place where Leeds got quite a lot of joy. This season, obviously, the season we've just finished, we had Firpo, and we had an inconsistency at left back because we had so many defensive injuries. Firpo wasn't injured, so Harrison didn't get a chance to build up a rapport with anybody on that left hand side. But watching Harrison and Sinisterra in this game, I was just very, very excited to see Harrison as left wing back, still getting to that byline, still crossing the ball in.
Yeah, I think. No, you agree.
That means for me that although we're playing inside left and inside right, although we're playing an inverted winger, that would mean that technically speaking, if you've got Sinisterra on the left hand side, he's cutting inside, and therefore you're not getting the crosses into the box, not from the byline. If Harrison is crossing over, we're still getting those crosses into the box. And as we know, Patrick Bamford can be quite lethal from those. What did you think of Patrick Bamford's performance and his involvement today?
Well, he wasn't on for that long. I don't really think I can say much, but I think he didn't score, but he looked a lot. He looked like a number 9. He looked like a number 9. He looked like what we've been needing.
I think the one thing that has been said before is that Patrick Bamford needs a lot of chances to get the goals that he gets, and one of the reasons why he had that season where he scored so many goals, not last season, the season before, is because he had so many chances, and he was popping up. Last year the goals that we got came from various other places. We got a certain amount of goals from Harrison, we got a certain amount of goals from Rafinha. It now seems we've got a side now with 3, 4, 5 players that are able to weigh in with goals.
I think last season as well was sort of a blessing in disguise because we stayed up, and a lot of the younger players got to boost their development by at least a season or 2, because they were playing in and around that team, and they were actually in and around the squad, and they were coming on and making debuts that they wouldn't have been had we have been doing well. That's
an exceptional point, a really, really good point. What sort of impact and what sort of benefit do you think players like Charlie, Archie Gray has seen through that? Do you think he would be now knocking on the door the way he is if we'd not had a season like we had last year with so many injuries?
No, I don't think he would have been. I think that because he's been in and around that squad, obviously he's not made his debut, but he's quite young. But because he's been in and around that squad, he has been learning a lot, and he's been very close with the whole team.
So let me ask you another question: has that we've just seen, the game we've just seen, changed your view on our starting 11 and where you think our strongest starting 11 is going into the new season, or do you think it's staying much the same?
I think it's staying the same pretty much.
I think for me, I think it's backed up. But what I am interested in seeing is how much Somerville's going to get used this season, because I think he is somebody who is undoubtedly going to be a talent on that right hand side. Nice to see James playing well.
It was. He scored a goal. He got an assist. He played well.
I think with James, I think we've been playing him out of position for so long, and he's caught quite a lot of criticism for his performance in front of goal. Nice to see that when he's playing in his preferred position, he's actually in the back of the net, and that's interesting.
And he's getting assists, which is good.
So overall, it seems to me that the depth of squad that we do have is actually even deeper than we thought. What about Drame, right back?
Drama at right back, I really didn't see much of him. I'm not really going to make a massive comment, but for me, I didn't see him put many feet wrong, but I didn't really see much of him.
Do you think much of our attack going down that left-hand side this year, like it went down the right last year?
I think it can. I think we're going to do well on the wide areas this season.
What did you think about Sinisterra?
Sinisterra looked good. He didn't lose the ball once, I don't think, and he was making good runs.
So for you, who was your man of the match?
My man of the match has to be Christensen, probably. I think he came on and played really well.
Yeah. Okay. And who?
He didn't come on. He started, but I think he played really well.
Okay. And who surprised you in that game?
JD, definitely.
JB for me is he looks. You know what? I think he's going to be great for Leeds United. I really do. I think that 5 and 7 million. The more time he was on that pitch today, I tell you what. Would we buy Archie Gray for £5 million now? Absolutely, we would. To be in a situation where we're able to buy a 16-year-old who is that close to the first team, who is somebody that is obviously going to be developed, and he's going to develop his game as he gets older. And I think, to be honest, I think Diaby is somebody for me. I think he's going to be mint. I think he's going to be.
He definitely will be.
I think he's going to be a first team player. I actually think Archie Gray is going to see some minutes this year. I'm really looking forward to seeing how those two players and Somerville develop this year, because by the end of this season, upcoming, I think we'll have 3 first team players there that are going to be world beaters. I'm really excited to see the development.
Yeah.
Leif Davis was competent. Drame was competent. Again, Leif Davis actually surprised me a little bit. He was actually better than I thought he was going to be. Not scared about swashbuckling. Not worried about going up that front. I don't understand why we would play Firpo when we can play Leif Davis or we can play Harrison, because for me, I think both of those are a better option. Weren't entirely sure on that 24 hours ago. I am now. Looking forward to seeing what occurs on that left-hand side and how they match up with Sinisterra. On the right, again, interested to see how Somerville matches up with Christensen and how he utilises Dan James. But all good. Did you think that was positive?
I think it was a good game. I think it was definitely positive.
Does it make you more excited for the new season?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so thanks ever so much for tuning in. Again, we'll be doing some pre-match and some post-match on the rest of the games that are coming up in Australia. The next game is when?
It's on the 22nd and it's against Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace. That should be an interesting game. Again, these games aren't really indicative of what's going to happen next season, on account of the fact that you're not seeing full first team against full first team. What they are doing is they're giving us an indication as to how Jesse Marsch might be lining up in his system. It seems that we're going to be playing wing backs. It seems that we could play 3-1 up top, so it could be a 4-2-3-1, or it could be a 4-2-2-2. I am seeing some narrowness, but I am certainly seeing wing backs. It's going to be interesting to see what goes on with the next game, and you can tune back into us, and we will be covering that both before and after. And it's and probably we'll have some chit chat with regards to transfers in the meantime. So again, if you've not already done so, please subscribe and comment and let us know what you thought, and we'll go from there. All right. Bye-bye.
Cheers for watching. See you next time.